All of these investigations to me is just more of a grandstanding, no, para dito sa mga members ng ating mababang kapulungan na mahilig sa publicity, no. So more than a publicity stunt, walang ano, no, walang direksyon at walang sustansya itong naging pagdinig na to. Well, definitely this is something that I think is really good, no, insofar as our democracy is concerned. Again, sinubukan yata ng Quadcom na i-delay or i-defer yung kanyang pagdalo, no? But I think the former president insisted na ituloy kahapon yung kanyang pagdalo, no? So I think this tantamounts to the readiness of the former president to really address the queries of the Quadcom. Unfortunately, mukhang kulang sa sustansya. Lalong-lalo na yung pagtatanong nitong committee na to. It seems to me na pang-11 hearing na nila to, pero parang they were not able to build on anything from the previous hearings, and that they were not able to solidify any position against the former president. So parang nangyari, parang it's the former president who came out more prepared, no, than the committee itself, which is very very disheartening. Kasi for me, this could be attributed to a parang tantamount to sa pag-aksaya sa pera ng bayan at sa oras, no, ng ating mga mambabatas, that we could have, devoted it to something more productive.
Baga kung sa madaling salita, Prof, mas nakatulong pa ito lalo at kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na mas lalo pa siyang mapamahal ng taong bayan dahil sa kanyang paninindigan laban dito sa illegal na droga.
Definitely, no, definitely. And I think if you're going to look at the broader picture, all of these things actually are in line with the upcoming 2025 elections and the 2028 elections as well, no? The presidential elections, in which the Dutertes are still very, very formidable, no? Particularly VP Sara Duterte. So this early, nagkakaroon ng mga ganitong pagdinig kahit nga wala namang patutunguhan, but they're trying to really come up with a demolition job, no, directed against the president. Unfortunately, parang ang nangyayari nagba-backfire, no? Instead of the public being dismayed over the former president, ang nangyayari parang mas lalong nasusolidify yung pagmamahal natin ng taong bayan at nanunumbalik, yung dating pagtangkilik ng mga kababayan natin sa dating pangulo, which I think is not really the intention whatsoever of this hearing. Kasi maliwanag naman ang sinasabi ng pangulo, no? If you have evidence, then go ahead and file a case. The problem with this hearing is that they are trying to get it from the president himself, no? Yung mga operational activities and all those things na gusto nila manggaling sa presidente. And kung tutingnan nga natin, the good thing about President Duterte here is he is not even invoking his right to self-incrimination. In fact, siya na nga mismo ang nagsasabi, no, that I am to be held accountable for everything that were committed during the drug war. So, unlike other resource persons na hindi mo masasalita maliban sa I invoke my right to self-incrimination, so on and so forth. But the president has been very steadfast about his position from the very beginning. File a case, no, yun lang naman yun eh. So all of these investigations to me is just more of a grandstanding, no, para dito sa mga members ng ating mababang kapulungan na mahilig sa publicity, no. So more than a publicity stunt, walang direksyon at walang sustansya itong naging pagdinig na to.
Opo, totoo yung sinasabi mo, Prof, dahil nga doon sa pagdalo ng dating Pangulo, maraming mga Pilipino ang nanood. Magandang avenue po ito para doon sa mga nagtatanong, hindi ho ba, na maging part ng strategy para sa kanilang political ambition?
Definitely, definitely dahil nga ano, parang grandstanding, no? Even itong si inimbitahan nila yung former Senator Trillanes, no, to be there. Alam naman natin ay humahabol ito ngayon for Mayor of Caloocan City. Again, this is another media mileage for him. And definitely, kung wala naman talagang bearing at wala naman talagang we call this connection doon sa pinag-uusapan, I think they should have tried to get better resource persons na yun nga, meron talagang substance, no, meron talagang masasabi nating kinalaman dito sa pinag-uusapan, and not just anybody else, no, just to pin down the the former president.
Nakita niyo rin po ba, Prof, yung consistency ng dating Pangulo sa kanyang mga sinasabi? Noon pa, bago pa lang siya, during sa kanyang kampanya noon, naging Pangulo, at until now, yung kanyang paninindigan na talagang ayaw niya sa mga kriminal. Yours, sabi pa nga, nabanggit pa nga niya, yours is human rights, pero sa kanya, human life. Kasi ang pinoprotektahan niya yung ating mga kababayan. Kapag kriminal, talagang dapat mawala na sa mundong ito, sa sosyudad.
Yeah, actually, no, and ito yung sinasabi natin that when the narrative really comes from the heart, it will always be as normal, ano, and as natural as it should be. And I think ito yung pinapakita ng ating Pangulo, no, from 2016. Actually, hindi lang 2016, and from the time that he was mayor of Davao, his position never faltered regarding criminality and regarding this drug menace. And I think it really comes or emanates from the fact na talagang he really loves the country more than anything else, and that he really wants the future generations to actually have a better life. And what better way to give it to them than to veer them away from this drug menace, because this is really going to destroy the country. And time and again, ito yung rhetoric, no, ito yung binabanggit ng ating Pangulo, ito yung kanyang mensahe. And I don't know why in this particular hearing, no, lagi na lang sila sabi may mga biktima nitong war on drugs, no, may mga namatay and all, pero hindi natin na imbitahan kahit minsan, ano, yung mga pamilya, yung mga kababayan natin na nag-benefit naman talaga totally, no, dito sa nangyaring war on drugs na to, no, yung mga tao na nagsasabi na mas umayos yung ating kapaligiran nung panahon na yon, na wala yung pangamba, they could walk out in the streets without too much of worry. I think if this hearing is to be fair, no, we should not just be calling on these people who they claim to be victimized by this war on drugs, but also try to talk to these people who were, benefited from the years that this war on drugs actually came to being.
Opo, at para ba sa iyo, Prof, personally, o sa mga monitoring po ninyo, sa mga naririnig niyo yung pulso ng ating mga kababayan, when the President, pag sinasabi niyang kapag nanlaban, yung mga kriminal, pagbunot pa lang ng kanilang mga armas, dapat barilin na, dapat mawala na. Pabor ka ba? Parang ano bang dating para sa iyo pag gano'n ang sinasabi ng Pangulo?
Well, from an operational perspective, no, let's say if you're a police officer, I think this is really part of their training, no. Maliwanag naman na binabanggit ng Pangulo dito, no, na kapag halimbawa nakatali or immobile o nakagapos yung perpetrator, yung ating criminal, you are not supposed to be doing that kasi helpless, di ba? So I think when you go to operational proceedings pagdating sa halimbawa sa police activities, yun naman talaga ang tinuturo, no? And ito yung binabanggit ng ating Pangulo, no? So in lieu of self-defense or self-preservation, yung ginagawa or yung mga ino-order niya sa ating kapulisan.
At yung pang sinasabi niya, Prof, na baga ini-encourage pa yung mga kriminal na manlaban. Para sa iyo, ano masasabi mo doon?
Well, in the first place kasi nga criminal, no? So what the President Duterte is actually trying to arrive here is yung version niya nga ng swift justice. Yes, it may not really sit well when we talk about human rights basically, but the point is the president is just trying to really eradicate the society of these lawless elements in the fastest time that he could, because he believes that the problem is so magnanimous, it's so big, to the point that if you're going to let the slow wheels of justice take its course, talagang matatagalan, matatabunan, no? So sa kanya, this is his brand of justice, and siguro para sa kanya ito yung kanyang paraan para talagang mas magkaroon ng kaayusan dito sa ating lipunan.
Oo, at nabanggit nga niya yan doon sa Quadcom na kung meron mang 50 kriminal sa isang lugar, 30 dyan ay nawala, at least 20 na lang ang hahabulin mo.
Yes. Time and again, the messaging is very clear naman, ano, and I really don't understand why some of our countrymen couldn't understand it. It's actually, majority of these people in the Congress couldn't fathom the idea that if you are a law-abiding citizen, and if you are a freedom-loving person, then you're good during the drug war. But if you're a criminal and you're a lawless element of the society, then the whip of President Duterte is really go right after you, no? So that's as simple as that. So kung wala kang kinakatakutan at hindi ka naman talaga gumagawa ng krimen at wala ka namang kamali ang ginagawa, so bakit kailangan mangamba, no? Pero kung criminal ka nung panahon na yon, then you really have to shape up. Otherwise, no, the Duterte brand of justice will come after you.
Oo, at dinidiin din doon na, di ba, doon sa pangako ng dating Pangulo, 6 months lang pero umabot ng buong termino niya, dahil nakita ng Pangulo, ng dating Pangulo, kung gaano kalawak, karami yung mga naging naapektuhan nitong illegal na droga sa ating bansa.
Yes, because naging systemic and structural talaga yung problema, no? And of course, if you have, or if you're dealing with a problem that deep and that immense, of course you cannot really address that in a very short span of time, no? And actually, even if yung 6 years nga, no, nung nakita ng presidente, ng former President Duterte, kung gaano talaga kalala yung problema, kahit naman siya, siguro sinabi niya sa sarili niya that it cannot really be solved in this span of time. Nung 6 na taon na yun, syempre nagkaroon pa tayo ng pandemya, no? So syempre nagkaroon ng halt doon sa drug war, no? So I think yung lalim, no, yung magnitude ng problema nakita ni former president yan nung panahon na siya nakaupo na. That's why he understood the dynamics and the complexity, and it really cannot be solved in that short span of time.
At isang lesson din siguro dito, Prof, para doon sa ating mga kababayan, kung ayaw nilang mabiktima o ma-target ng mga kapulisan during sa kanyang administrasyon, wag sanang gumamit ng droga, wag gagamit kasi ngayon, 'di ba, mabilis na lang yung pera sa illegal na droga, kaya pumapasok yung ilan sa atin, marami sa mga kababayan natin diyan dahil mabilis yung pera. Kaya ang Pangulo, ang dating Pangulo, ipinapakita niya na dapat hindi, bawal. Kaya yung kanyang approach is matapang.
Exactly. And of course, kinakailangan mo talaga ng kinakailangan mo talaga ng kamay na bakal, because you're dealing here with lawless elements, no? You're dealing here with criminals. These are hardened people already, no, na karaniwan at karamihan sa kanila wala ka talagang kinikilalang batas, no? So I think what the president did during his time was really to send the strong and stern message, no? Para to send yung mensahe, no, para magkaroon ng chilling effect, no, ika nga, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga gumagawa talaga ng mali. Pero yun nga, kung wala ka namang ginagawang mali at nasa tama ka naman, then I think you will definitely be in favor of what the president did, no? Because what he really wanted is to make the situation better for the majority of the Filipinos during the time. Because definitely, hindi naman masasabi na mas mayorya ng mga Pilipino noon hook sa droga. Definitely not, no? Pero yung mga minority na yan, yung mga ilan na talagang nagdodroga at gumagamit at nagbebenta, yun yung talagang tinakot, ano, at yun na yung talagang nangamba during that time. And yun nga, sad to say, after his term, nanumbalik na naman, ano. So that's the sad reality right now.
Opo, at di ba may survey naman that time kung gusto ba ng mga Pilipino yung drug war, mas marami yung nagustuhan itong programa o itong war on drugs ng dating Pangulo that time dahil nga paglabas nila, feeling safe sila kapag nasa daan.
Yes, actually, and hindi lang yung mga tao, no? I think even the members of the Congress during that time, majority of them actually are in favor of the drug war. Many of them are actually seen nga bearing this closed fist, no? The Duterte sign in many of their gatherings, no? So, ibig sabihin, nung panahon na yon, they're in favor of it. Tapos all of a sudden, right now, they're prosecuting President Duterte. So, what does it make of them, no? As public officials?
Naalala mo, Prof, yung panahon na nagbigay ng SONA ang dating Pangulo, standing ovation yung mga kongresista at ilan nga, marami siguro sa kanila nandyan mismo sa Quadcom na nagtatanong.
Exactly. And you really cannot fathom, no? So anong klaseng anong klaseng mentality 'to, no? Parang duplicity, no? In a matter of years, biglaan lang may iba yung kanilang perspective, ano? I really don't understand where that's coming from. Pero anyway, that's politics, eh. That's clearly understandable. But at least I think it's incumbent upon this this congressman to really stand up naman sana, no, for the principles that they once believed in, ano. At hindi basta-basta masusway towards something else just because nagbago na nga ng liderato yung ating pamahalaan.
Pero papaano yung magiging implikasyon nito doon sa mga kongresista na nagtatanong ngayon sa dating Pangulo, Prof, at tatakbo sila sa darating na eleksyon? Makakatulong ho ba ito para sa mga botante na masiyasat, ma-scrutinize nila itong mga kandidato nila sa kanilang mga lugar kung karapat-dapat bang iboto o hindi?
Well, definitely nagpapakita 'to ng kawalan nila ng paninindigan, ano, nakawalan nila ng prinsipyo doon sa kanilang pinaniniwalaan, ano, yung flip-flopping na tendencies definitely is not something that we want to have, you know, for our public official. And definitely, no, may mga ano naman yan, may mga video clips yan, may mga news bites yan, definitely nung panahon na yon, may mga pictures and photos. They could just simply look into this people and these personalities and see if they really believe in the motives, no, in the previous directives of the previous administration, and bakit ngayon biglang they're singing to a different tune, no? So hindi ito isang ehemplo ng maayos na public official if they themselves couldn't stand for what they believe in.
Opo, huli na lang bago ko ipasok kay partner Admar, Prof, gaano ba kahalaga para sa mga botante na makita nila ng kanilang kandidatong ibinoboto ay may paninindigan?
Well, definitely kasi kung wala tayong paninindigan at kung wala tayong prinsipyo, no, walang magiging solid backbone or foundation yung mga gustong gawin sa ating mga constituents, no. In short, when you try to create policies, when you try to make programs, this should actually be based on solid mandates and solid principles, no. If they are flip-flopping or papalit-palit sila ng pananaw regarding things, no, so could we come up with solid agenda or solid projects or platforms or policies if we have officials like that, no? So I think very important dito, no, yung idea na meron talagang prinsipyo na ipinaglalaban, no, hindi lamang yung dahil sa ito yung ihip ng politika ngayon, ito yung takbo ng politika natin, sasabay ka doon, ano, which of course is very sabihin na natin very critical of the kind of political setup that we have. Marami talaga tayong mga, kung tawagin natin, mga political turncoats and political butterflies. And I believe these are the type of candidates na alam natin na ang talagang isinusulong lamang yung pansarili nilang interes at wala yung interes ng bayan. So definitely we need to cross out these people from our ballots.
Prof, magandang umaga, si Admar po ito. Meron ka rin bang napansin na paulit-ulit na lang yung mga issue na nire-raise at actually na yung iba nasagot na ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte doon sa Senate hearing at sa dami ng kanya mga speeches din, sa mga pagtatanong sa kanya sa media, parang paulit-ulit at gusto lang talagang i-establish. Meron ka bang nakikita na parang meron lang silang ibang niluluto para dito kay dating Pangulong Duterte?
The problem here, yun nga binabanggit ko kanina, panglaming isang hearing na ito ng Quad. Ideally, dapat you should be building on what were already established before, and the line of questioning should be based on the fruit of the previous investigations made. But apparently, in this case, I don't know kung na-overwhelm sila sa presensya ni President Duterte or nagulat sila na dinefer nila pero biglang umattend si Pangulong Duterte pero nagpapakita ng kawalan ng kahandaan, nagpapakita na yung mga nakaraang pagdinig talagang ewan ko kung ito ba ay naisulat, nailimbag, nagkaroon ba ng record, kasi definitely ito yung inaasahan ko, na maitatahi nila yung mga investigative materials that were already collected in the previous hearings, pero apparently wala, and yes, it is I think it's a rehashed and a rather poor copycat of the Senate hearing that was already previously conducted, because the same line of questioning, the same the same devices that were utilized, parang ang nangyari with chanting lang talaga, pero wala talagang malinaw na patutunguhan yung kanilang pagdinig. So sad to say, I would have to say that I think the previous Senate hearing is more organized as compared to this one, and to think ang dami na nilang naging mga pagdinig,
Tapos ito pang mga sinasabi na nila mga facts na bilang ng mga namatay, bilang ng mga naging biktima ng EJK. Meron silang inilalabas, meron silang kino-quote at talagang idinidiin itong dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, pero during his time, iba. Kaya nga naglabas sila ng di ba, parang hashtag real numbers, meron silang mga press briefing, paglalahad kung ano talaga yung total na datos. Saan ba dapat titindig ang mga nag-iimbestiga, inaalam ang katotohanan dito, kung doon pa lang sa mga numbers, hindi mo alam kung ito ba'y galing sa totoong numero? Kasi alam naman natin yung mga taktika pag merong gustong ipin down yung mga kritiko, pwedeng gumawa sila ng mga numero, kapansin-pansin din kung saan galing yung numero na kanila mga pinagsasabi. Ito yung mga usual na mga critics. Sino ba talaga ang magbibigay ng tamang numero?
Right, that's a big problem, yung authenticity and the validity of the sources. That is something that I think should have been decided upon previously. Kasi ako as an academic, I will always try to validate first and verify the authenticity of the sources, kasi that's where we try to attain credibility, otherwise baka kung saan-saan na nanggaling yan, wala talaga magiging solidong sandigan yung ating magiging investigation. So I think that should have been provided for previously, at ma-ascertain natin talaga kung saan galing at kung ito ba talaga ay reliable, so if that will be that being said, and then we could proceed. But I think medyo na yun, para sa akin medyo that's already beside the point, because what is more important here is that the former president, is really taking full accountability naman for what were committed during that time. Kaya nga ang hamon niya lang naman, plain and simple, hindi ko maintindihan ba't hindi ito gawin ng mga members nitong ng both ng Senate at ng House, is to just go ahead, simply file a case, and he will be very willing naman to face all this, no, in the right time and in the right venue.
Ang sabi ng mga netizen, kung maghahain kasi ng kaso, tatahimik na yun kasi hindi na nila masisiraan yung itong si dating
Exactly.
Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Mauubos na, wala na silang mileage. Isa pa sa kapansin-pansin din doon, yung biglang pagsulpot ni dating Senador Trillanes doon sa naging pagdinig, at meron na naman siyang mga inilabas na mga sinasabing authentic daw na mga dokumento na makapagdidiin. Sa ganitong klase ng hearing in aid of legislation, okay ba na idiretso na agad na mailatag yun, kung ano-ano na lang na mga akusasyon ang ipupukol sa isang individual?
Yun nga hindi ko maintindihan, why he was invited there in the first place. Alam naman natin that Trillanes has been a very staunch critic of President Duterte from the very beginning, and ewan ko kung meron pa talagang ounce of credibility, no, kasi maraming beses na naman niya itong ginawa, maraming pagdinig na rin naman na siya yung namuno, pero wala naman talagang kinapuntahan, walang pinatunguhan, ika nga, no. So to me, the presence of Trillanes there actually made it a lot even worse, no. kung ang gusto nila talaga ron, yun nga, makapuntos labang kay Pangulong Duterte, mukhang hindi nila na-achieve yun, especially with Trillanes around, because of his reputation din naman, ano.
Ang mga nandoon na mga resource person, kung tawagin, hindi na sila nasa public service. Kumbaga, nasa ano na lang sila, ordinaryong Filipino citizen. Yung isang abogado ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, si Attorney Delgra, no, naitanong, kasi nga gusto niyang maset na doon tayo sa in aid of legislation na issue. Ano ba yung mga panukalang batas na meron nang nabuo, naisip? Pero kapansin-pansin, parang sinabi pa ng isang kongresista na siya daw ay nabastusan dahil parang parang sinasabi na wala silang ginagawa. Okay ba na ganon? Wala bang karapatan ng isang Pilipino, no? Hindi yun public servant na, kumbaga isang ordinaryong Pilipino na maningil kasi kumbaga, ano ba yung mga panukalang batas na inyo pong naiisip, na hahain o kung meron na ba, para at least doon tayo pwede mag-dwell kung paano mapagtibay itong mga panukalang batas na ito. Pero sinabi ng isang kongresista na babastusan siya doon sa pagtatanong ng isang abogado, Prof.
Gano'n naman talaga kapag halimbawa wala kang maisagot, no? So you just yung appeal to emotions, no? And in this case, nangyari parang yung naging pagtugon niya rito is more of frustration, or parang naiinis or nagagalit siya, no? Dahil feeling niya nababaso siya. When in fact, yeah, I agree with that, no? This is definitely an exercise in democratic spaces, definitely, and it is enshrined in our constitution. When you go to Article 6, no, sa legislative branch natin, talagang may kakayahan ng Kongreso, no, at ang Senado to perform itong mga inquiry na to in aid of legislation. In short, kinakailangan itong gawin dahil sa kakulangan o kawalan ng batas patungkol dito sa issue na to, no? Itong pagdinig na to ang magiging daan o susi para makagawa sila ng batas. And I think definitely with the way things are going, no, ang tagal na naman itong usapin ito ng war on drugs. Ang dami na lang namang hearings na nagawa ng Quad. Dapat ngayon meron na silang nailalatag kahit na balangkas or a very simple manifestation, a bill, a proposal na patungkol dito, no? And that's really how you address that question. Pero to exemplify a behavior na parang naiinis ka o nagalit ka when in fact the question is valid, I think that is not becoming, you know, of a gentleman from the Congress.
Ano po masasabi nyo, Prof, dahil nanindigan talaga sa command responsibility itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na hindi natin ito malimit marinig sa mga leader natin. Kumbaga, kung ano ka na, iwan ka na sa ere, bahala ka na dyan.
Well, that I think what sets President Duterte apart from other leaders, no. We had a lot of good leaders naman in the past, pero yung tinatawag natin kasing accountability is something else, no. Kasi accountability, sabi nga natin, from the term, sagot, no, sagutin, no. So pananagutan, no. So I think the good thing about President Duterte is talagang kaya niyang panindigan kasi may pananagutan siya, no. Pananagutan niya sa bayan yung nangyari na war on drugs at pinaninindigan niya yung maganda na naidulot nito at kung ano man yung medyo negatibo rin naman na kinalabasan nito, kaya rin naman niyang tuntungan, ano. And I think that that is a mark of a good leader, no, na meron talaga siyang kakayahan na kilalanin yung mga pagkakamali rin naman kung meron man na nagawa yung kanyang programa.
Doon sa pangungwenta ng suporta kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at ipinagmamalaki pa niya, kumbaga ano bang nakikita mo doon sa mga ganong mga pahayag po, Prof?
Well, sa akin naman, kung talagang meron naman talagang nagawa, no, at talagang masasabi naman natin na meron namang magandang naidulot itong giyera kontra droga, I think he is in a good position naman to also parang admit to the good things or to the good things that came about because of this initiative, no. Syempre, hindi lang naman yung pananagutan ang titignan natin dito kapag may pagkakamali, no. Of course, you also reap praises for something good that was done out of your initiative. And in this case, ayun nga sabi ko kanina, no, marami naman din talaga ang magsasabi na naging maayos ang ating bayan ng panahon na yon. So, I think we should not turn a blind eye on that, no. Mahirap kasi kung ang tinitignan lang natin ng isang perspektibo kasi nawawala yung fairness, no. If this hearing is supposed to be fair, siguro kinakailangan din natin tignan yung iba't ibang mga sektor na nag-benefit din naman from this initiative.
At saka yung irony din na Prof, no, na grabe sila makapagbigay ng mga dapat gawin, ganito, para masolve daw yung maging maganda yung peace and order sa lugar. Pero doon sa kanilang distrito o mismo sa syudad na kanilang nire-representa, grabe din yung problema.
Tama po 'yan, ano eh. Ito nga yung sinasabi natin lagi na kahit naman sa Biblia binabanggit kung sinong walang kasalanan siyang unang pumukol ng bato, no. Pero anong nangyayari parang masyado silang nagmamalinis at masyadong marami sa kanila sinasabi na ganito, ganyan. Pero they themselves couldn't actually do it because they're also guilty of some of the shortcomings and pitfalls, no. So yun yung yun yung sigurong mensahe tsaka lesson nitong pagdidig na to, no. So merong isang tao na they're trying to pin down right now, they're trying to prosecute, pero ang ginawa lang naman talaga niya sa totoo lang is mas maging maayos yung kanyang bayan. And then there are these people naman na pinoprosecute siya at hinahabol siya ngayon, pero ang tanong is meron ba silang nagagawa para sa kanilang mga nasasakupan?
Prof, malinaw din ba sa'yo, huli na lang, na ang purpose lang nitong mga investigation na ito ay pin down ang mga Duterte kasi nabanggit din doon yung anak, si VP Sara, at yung katagang impeachment?
Definitely, no? Sa akin, this two things, no? One is grandstanding on the part of this congressman, siguro this is in aid of election for the 2025 elections, and syempre media mileage, and of course demolition job for the Dutertes, no? I think this is really orchestrated. This is really something that is being planned all along. Apparently, medyo hindi yata tama yung pagpaplano at medyo may kulang doon sa kumpas, no. I don't know kung saan sila nagkukulang dito, pero definitely if you're going to orchestrate something, it should have been good, it should have been better. Pero the way I see it, mukhang instead of them, taking jobs at the president, the former president, parang ang nangyari, it's the president who delivered a knockout against them, which is, not so good.